What if I told you that the true value of your life is not determined by the opinions of others? In a world filled with scrutiny and judgment, it's easy to lose yourself in the quest for approval. However, the key to understanding your true worth lies within you, not in the applause or criticism from the outside. Today, we will explore how the principles of Stoicism can transform your perception of self-worth and help you navigate the pressures of societal expectations. Rather than taking a superficial approach, we will delve deep into the essence, allowing you to learn how to seek validation from within rather than from external sources. Yes, some of these ideas may seem unexpected and even radical, especially if you are accustomed to relying on outside assessments. If you are ready to discover new horizons and dive into the teachings of Stoicism, aiming to create a life that truly belongs to you, you are on the right path. Let's share our discoveries with those who are also seeking personal growth and philosophical understanding. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay with us to learn why ancient wisdom is so relevant today and how the deepest truths about ourselves require us to rethink everything we have taken for granted. Let's delve into a topic that we all know but rarely fully comprehend: the trap of external validation. This snare, created by our culture, seeps into our everyday interactions and makes us question how important likes, comments, and followers are for our self-esteem. But is our worth truly reduced to the number of external affirmations? Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in ancient Greece and Rome, challenges this notion. Stoics teach us that true goodness lies in our virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. They argue that external factors, including the opinions of others, are beyond our control and do not determine our happiness. As one great Stoic said, "Happiness is not about having much, but about being content with little." Imagine a life where your inner peace isn't shaken by critical comments online or disapproving glances in public spaces. Stoicism is not just about endurance. It's an art of recognizing what truly deserves your energy. Consider how often you check for reactions to your posts. Each notification acts like a mini reward, momentarily boosting your mood. But it's fleeting, isn't it? Soon, you find yourself striving for more likes, caught in a cycle of dependency. This craving for external validation doesn't just stay in the virtual world. It seeps into our real lives. We begin to mold our behavior and even our life choices to fit what we believe will earn us approval from others. But here's an important truth. When you base your happiness on the opinions of others, you lose your power. You become dependent on a foundation as unstable as the ever-changing views around you. Instead of seeking validation from outside, it's worth focusing on your inner values. Realizing that your true worth comes from within can open doors to a deeper understanding of yourself and your place in the world. You are not merely reacting to external stimuli. You become the master of your life, confidently walking a path that truly matters to you. Stoicism offers a powerful means for inner growth, focusing on self-validation. This philosophy encourages us to turn inward and seek our own approval, which is especially relevant in our world, saturated with external evaluations and opinions. Stoics aim to create an inner citadel, a fortress resilient to external shocks and criticism. Interestingly, ancient Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca believed that our happiness does not depend on external circumstances, but on how we respond to them. They argued that true freedom comes when we recognize that we can be happy based on our own values and actions, rather than the opinions of others. This does not mean ignoring others' views, but rather altering the significance we attach to them, giving less weight to what does not align with our inner beliefs. By prioritizing internal validation, we begin to free ourselves from the trap of dependency on external assessments. We start acting with a purpose that deeply resonates with our true selves, rather than creating fleeting images for public applause. This process may be challenging and lengthy, but it brings profound liberation. It allows us to live authentically, choosing paths that align with our principles, and ultimately leads to a life that proactively realizes our own definition of success. Stoicism presents a refreshing approach to self-worth that radically deviates from contemporary norms. The Stoic philosophy, based on the teachings of thinkers like Epictetus, asserts that self-worth should emanate from within, rather than relying on external validations. This idea is reflected in modern psychological research, which shows that internal approval is linked to greater resilience to stress and higher satisfaction with life. Remember, true value is not something you can gain or lose through the opinions of others. It is deeply rooted in our virtues and the choices we make. Ultimately, a conscious pursuit of internal self-validation can be the key to a more harmonious and fulfilling life, where you define your own goals and success. What does your worth really mean in a world where likes and comments have become measures of success? This is an important question to ask yourself in the age of social media, where public approval can seem like the foundation of self-esteem. However, true value is not determined by the number of people who admire your post or your outfit. External factors can certainly bring pleasure, but they should not be the foundation upon which your sense of self-worth is built. The essence of self-worth lies in living in accordance with reason and in harmony with your true nature. This includes embracing virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Ask yourself important questions. Am I making decisions I can stand by? Am I living honestly and ethically? These reflections foster a sense of self-respect that cannot be undermined because it does not rely on the opinions of others. It is created and sustained by you. One practice that can help with this is Stoic daily reflection. This is not just a method of self-improvement. It is a way to reinforce your internal value system. Every night, take time to think about the day that has passed. Don't focus on berating yourself for mistakes or tallying your successes. Instead, honestly evaluate your actions against your values. This practice helps solidify the understanding that your worth is defined by your ability to live virtuously, not by the shifting sands of public opinion. Embracing the Stoic approach does not mean becoming indifferent to others' opinions. On the contrary, it means recalibrating the influence that external voices have on your sense of self. In Stoic thinking, feedback from others is not a measure of your worth, but rather a resource for personal growth. Criticism and praise can become tools that help you better align with your values without allowing them to disturb your inner peace. Viewing self-worth as something that comes from within makes your life more stable and controllable. You are no longer at the mercy of others' whims or societal pressures that push you toward conformity. Instead, you gain the freedom to pursue a life that truly reflects who you are, grounded in reliable principles. In this context, it is important to remember, your true value is not subject to fluctuations. It does not depend on external approval. It is an internal state that you can cultivate and strengthen, allowing yourself to be who you truly are. This path to authenticity is not just a process of self-discovery. It is a liberation from the shackles that bind you. Ultimately, a life based on internal value becomes a source of genuine happiness and fulfillment. When we delve into the concept of inner courage through the lens of Stoicism, we discover something truly inspiring. Courage in this context is not just about heroism or overcoming physical challenges. It is the everyday bravery required to live authentically and follow your principles despite the pressures of the outside world and your own fears. Inner courage is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It involves the ability to confront your own flaws and fears, choosing actions that align with your deeper values rather than those that simply seek to avoid discomfort or gain social approval. This compels us to look inward and ask important questions. Why do I do what I do? Am I motivated by a genuine belief in my actions, or am I allowing external factors to dictate my behavior? Imagine a situation where you stand up for an unpopular but just cause. The courage here lies not only in the act of standing up, but in overcoming the internal struggle against your own doubts and fears. Stoic courage means following your path, even when it is challenging, and trusting that your internal compass is set on virtue. Stoicism also teaches us that true courage involves not just facing external challenges, but also accepting internal vulnerabilities. It is the willingness to acknowledge and work through your emotions, fear, anxiety, doubts, viewing them as natural human experiences rather than weaknesses. It is important to understand that accepting your emotions does not mean allowing them to control you. Rather, it means observing them with a rational mind and making decisions based on wisdom, not impulse. This approach to emotions frees you from the tyranny of trying to control everything outside your influence, such as other people's opinions or the outcomes of events you cannot predict. Instead, it directs you toward what you can truly control: your beliefs, your decisions, and your virtues. Inner courage is not merely a philosophical concept. It is a practical approach to life that can change your perception of yourself and the world around you. It allows you to live by your principles without being swayed by the opinions of others. This is a path to genuine freedom, where you define your values and choose actions that reflect your true essence. Thus, Stoic courage not only helps us overcome fears and doubts, but also teaches us to be more resilient to external circumstances. It offers us the chance not just to react to life, but to actively shape it based on internal understanding and virtues. Ultimately, this journey toward inner courage can lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful life, where you not only survive, but thrive, remaining true to yourself. When you live guided by inner courage, you are not just reacting to the world around you. You are actively shaping your life in accordance with your true self. This means that every action, thought, and decision becomes a reflection of your deeper values and beliefs. Stoic courage not only helps us face external challenges, but also encourages constant self-reflection and reassessment of our views. Courage in the Stoic sense includes the readiness to revise your beliefs and actions in light of new understanding. This adaptability is true bravery. It requires you to let go of possibly long-held ideas when they no longer withstand rational scrutiny. This is not just a process. It is a challenge that demands courage for growth and development. Stoic wisdom is not about having all the answers, but about seeking them with an open yet discerning mind. In this process, we learn not only to accept change, but also to use it for our personal development. By cultivating inner courage, we build resilience that is deeply rooted in Stoicism. This resilience not only helps us survive difficult times, but also allows us to thrive, transforming inevitable life challenges into opportunities for personal growth. Each hardship becomes a chance to practice virtue, reinforce our commitment to Stoic principles, and deepen our understanding of what it means to live a good life. Imagine that each difficulty is not just an obstacle but an opportunity for learning, for self-improvement, for becoming better than you were yesterday. This perspective changes the way we view failures and obstacles, making them not enemies but allies on the path to your true self. Embracing vulnerability may not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Stoicism, but it is an incredibly important aspect of this philosophy. Vulnerability is often seen as a sign of weakness or something to be hidden away. However, Stoicism invites us to rethink this notion entirely. It teaches us that vulnerability is not only inevitable, but also a significant strength when approached with wisdom and self-awareness. When we open ourselves to vulnerability, we become more human. We learn to accept ourselves and others as we are, with all our flaws and fears. This acceptance allows us to build deeper and more genuine connections with those around us. Ultimately, vulnerability becomes a source of strength, enabling us to express honesty, sincerity, and true courage. Therefore, the inner pursuit of courage and the acceptance of vulnerability as essential parts of Stoic philosophy can lead us to a more meaningful and fulfilling life. This is a path where we not only survive, but thrive, staying true to ourselves and our values. In this dynamic, we learn, grow, and become stronger, regardless of external circumstances. Stoicism acknowledges that we are all subject to emotions, mistakes, and misfortunes. After all, we are human. This philosophy does not seek to deny or suppress human feelings. On the contrary, the strength of Stoicism lies in embracing these emotions with understanding and rationality. It is an approach that allows us to confront our fears, uncertainties, and limitations with courage and honesty. Consider that being vulnerable requires more courage than simply hiding your true feelings or pretending that everything is fine. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It is an opportunity to open up about your struggles and doubts. This does not mean we expect others to solve our problems. Rather, it means we are ready to face them head-on and work through them constructively. A key part of Stoic practice involves using rational thought to manage our emotions and transform potential weaknesses into opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Why should we view vulnerability as a strength? Because it creates space for genuine self-reflection and personal growth. By acknowledging your vulnerabilities, you give yourself a chance to confront them. This allows you to turn dark fears that control you from the shadows into challenges you can meet and overcome. Such engagement builds true resilience based on understanding and wisdom, rather than mere grit or denial. Moreover, embracing vulnerability fosters deeper connections with others. When you are honest about your weaknesses, you create space for those around you to do the same. This can lead to more meaningful and supportive relationships, both on a personal level and within a broader community context. Stoicism promotes not isolation, but a community of rational and supportive relationships founded on honest and virtuous interactions. Embracing vulnerability also aligns with the Stoic practice of focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. When you accept that some aspects of life, such as emotions and the actions of others, are beyond your control, you free yourself to concentrate on how you respond to those circumstances. Thus, vulnerability becomes a training ground for exercising control over your reactions and decisions, rather than over the external world. This gives you the opportunity not only to better understand yourself, but also to form healthier relationships with those around you. Instead of fearing vulnerability, we can use it as a tool for creating deeper connections and enhancing the quality of our lives. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches us that embracing vulnerability is a path to true freedom and inner growth. Instead of hiding behind walls of protection, we can open our hearts and minds to confront reality, learn, and grow together with others. This not only strengthens our resilience, but also deepens our understanding of what it means to be human in this complex world. Vulnerability, when allowed to manifest, opens doors to a more authentic existence. It gives us the opportunity to look within ourselves and accept our true nature, including all our flaws and uncertainties. This acceptance does not weaken us. On the contrary, it strengthens our resolve to live in accordance with the virtues of Stoicism. Embracing our weaknesses becomes the foundation not only for personal growth, but also for forming deeper connections with others. When we talk about resilience, many envision it as the ability to bounce back from difficulties. However, in the context of Stoicism, this idea takes on a deeper and more nuanced meaning. Stoic practices do not merely prepare us to recover from setbacks. They reframe our understanding of resilience, turning potential obstacles into powerful opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Resilience in Stoicism is rooted in the central concept of the philosophy, the dichotomy of control. Stoics emphasize the distinction between what is within our control, our thoughts, behaviors, and reactions, and what is not, external events and the actions of others. This distinction is not an expression of passive resignation. Rather, it is an active practice that empowers us. By focusing our efforts on what we can control, we conserve our mental resources and remain steadfast in the face of life's unpredictabilities. One vivid example of Stoic practice is daily reflection, often referred to as evening meditation. In this practice, Stoics analyze the events of the day, not to dwell on failures, but to assess their own responses and prepare for future challenges. This process of self-reflection cultivates the habit of learning from every situation instead of feeling defeated by setbacks. Stoics view failures as stepping stones on the path to self-development, gathering insights on how to better handle similar situations in the future. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches us the art of perception management, a key to resilience. How we perceive difficulties directly influences our response to them. If we view challenges as insurmountable obstacles, we are more likely to feel overwhelmed. However, if we see them as natural tests that assess our character and resolve, we approach them with a more constructive attitude. Vulnerability and resilience are two interconnected aspects that allow us to live a more authentic and meaningful life. Embracing our weaknesses opens up opportunities for growth and learning, while resilience, grounded in the understanding of the dichotomy of control, helps us maintain inner strength. Instead of fearing difficulties, we can use them as opportunities for self-improvement, transforming each trial into a chance to become better and to understand ourselves more deeply. In this process, we not only strengthen our resilience, but also deepen our connections with others, creating more meaningful and supportive relationships in our lives. In our world, filled with uncertainty and unexpected turns, resilience becomes not just a desirable quality, but a necessity. This shift in the perception of difficulties does not diminish their reality. On the contrary, it empowers us to face them with dignity and purpose. In this context, it is worth highlighting one of the key Stoic practices, premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This practice involves visualizing potential challenges and setbacks, which at first glance may seem pessimistic. However, it is in fact a powerful tool for preparing the mind for possible difficulties. Instead of being blind to potential problems, Stoics teach us to accept them as part of life. This does not mean we should expect the worst. Rather, it is a way to reduce the shock and dismay that can arise when confronting unexpected hardships. Furthermore, Stoicism emphasizes the importance of commitment to our inner values, regardless of external pressures and expectations. This idea is closely related to amor fati, the love of fate. Stoics teach us not only to accept, but to embrace everything that life throws our way, trusting that every experience, both positive and negative, has its value and can contribute to our moral and philosophical development. Such acceptance is not a passive stance, but an active engagement with life. It is a choice to see the potential for growth in every experience, even when it comes in the form of challenges. Instead of becoming disheartened, we begin to realize that each failure is an opportunity for learning and growth. Building resilience through Stoic practices implies developing a mindset that views life's challenges as an integral part of personal and ethical growth. It means cultivating an inner strength that does not crumble under pressure but becomes more robust with each challenge faced. Resilience is not just the ability to bounce back, it is the ability to learn and develop from the experiences we encounter. This also implies a rejection of isolation. Resilience does not mean ignoring the needs and good advice of others. On the contrary, it enriches our inner world through communication and interaction. We must strive to ensure that our choices and the life we lead are genuinely ours, not merely reflections of societal expectations or the desires of those around us. The Stoic practice of focusing on one's own path is deeply intertwined with the idea of self-sufficiency, not in a material sense, but in an emotional and intellectual sense. Stoics believe in developing an inner fortitude that relies less on external sources of happiness and more on inner peace and rational thought. This does not mean advocating for emotional coldness. Rather, it refers to striving for a state where our happiness is not disproportionately affected by fluctuating external circumstances. By centering our lives around our own judgments, guided by reason and virtue, we navigate life's challenges with a clearer perspective. Take Marcus Aurelius as an example, one of the most renowned Stoics. While ruling the vast Roman Empire, he faced unimaginable pressures and responsibilities. Yet amid this turbulent sea of obligations, he sought solace and strength in his Stoic beliefs. For him, it was important not only to govern effectively, but also to live in accordance with personal integrity and virtue. His philosophical reflections prompt us to ask a crucial question. Do we make decisions based on what is right and good, or do we act out of fear of judgment and a desire for approval from others? Focusing on our own path implies embracing the concept of the obstacle is the way. This Stoic teaching instructs us that obstacles should not be viewed merely as hindrances on our path, but as opportunities for personal and spiritual growth. Each challenge becomes a chance to apply Stoic virtues such as courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. This approach shifts our perception of life. It is not a smooth road to be traversed effortlessly. Rather, it is a series of learning moments that shape us into wiser and more virtuous individuals. Moreover, Stoic practices help us develop a sense of personal responsibility. They teach us to accept our choices and their consequences. While we cannot control everything that happens around us, we have absolute power over how we respond to these events. Focusing on our own path means taking responsibility for our reactions to life's adversities. It is not about blaming others or external circumstances for our unhappiness or failures. Instead, it is an invitation to look within, understand what we can do differently, and make decisions that align with our deepest values. By centering our lives around our own judgments and virtues, we do not merely go through trials. We grow and develop, becoming more whole and wise individuals. This journey, full of challenges, becomes an integral part of our path to personal harmony and true happiness. Autonomy is a powerful gift that, despite its liberating nature, presents us with considerable challenges. It requires us to maintain constant vigilance in order to resist the temptation to follow the crowd or seek easy exits from difficult situations. In this context, daily reflection stands out as a crucial aspect of Stoic practice. Every day, we should ask ourselves questions about our actions and intentions, checking whether we remain true to our philosophical beliefs and values. Focusing on our own path is not just a way to avoid external pressure. It is a profound process that allows us to create a life that reflects our true essence and aspirations. It is a journey toward authenticity, where each choice is shaped by reason, mindfulness, and virtuous conduct. In a world full of noise and the opinions of others, it is essential to stay true to ourselves by following our own principles and convictions. As we move along our paths, we can draw inspiration from the wealth of Stoic wisdom. This approach teaches us to make decisions that are not only beneficial but also right and good for ourselves and our surroundings. Embracing the Stoic commitment to focus on our own paths not only creates a life full of fulfillment, but also allows us to contribute to a society where integrity and virtue become guiding beacons. Thus, the path to a Stoic life is not merely about enduring difficult times. It is an opportunity to transform challenges into valuable lessons that foster our personal growth and wisdom. Every obstacle we encounter can become a stepping stone to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. So, as you continue your journey, embrace each moment with courage and integrity. Let Stoicism guide you toward a life of genuine fulfillment. Don't forget to explore new aspects of Stoic practice and principles to deepen your understanding and application of these teachings in your everyday life. Thank you for being with us. If this video inspired you, please share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel. We wish you confidence in your actions and clarity in your goals. May your journey be rich and joyful, and may every difficulty be a stepping stone to your dreams.